This 17 News at Noon podcast is brought to you by Clinica Sierra Vista.
Welcome back to the 17 News at Sunrise podcast, where we share your news on your schedule.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
And good morning here at 5 a.m. Good to have you with us. I'm Maddie Jansen alongside Alex Fisher, starting off yet another work week after a gorgeous weekend.
Yeah, it's been absolutely gorgeous over the last couple of weeks. Really does feel like spring. But we talked about those spring showers, and where are they?
Yeah, they are nowhere to be found. Let's check in with Kevin to see what our forecast is looking like as we kick off the work week. Kev?
Yeah, it was a nice weekend. We saw upper 70s yesterday. We're going to continue with the 70s and 80s for today and under mostly clear conditions. Let's take you outside right now and show you our temperature around Kern County, and we're in the mild zone, 57 degrees under a calm wind. We're expecting just a light breeze as we go throughout the day, and you can see temperatures will be rising into the lower 70s by 11 a.m. and then 80s return as we head into the afternoon. For the Tehachapi area, sitting at 45 right now, a light wind out of the west at 5 miles per hour. No strong winds around Kern County at this time, and as we take a look at the hour by hour, starting out in those 40s, we'll rise near 70 this afternoon under mostly sunny conditions. So I'll have more weather coming up in just a little bit. For now, back over to you.
All right, Kat, thanks so much. Your time now is 5:02, and this morning concerning new data shows how many people in Kern County have received a vaccine against COVID-19. And it shows we have a long way to go before the threat is over. More than 140,000 people in Kern are considered fully immune, according to state numbers. That's 15% of the population, including many people who are considered at risk for severe disease or death. Although more people are getting the shot, a concerning trend is developing. While vaccine supply is growing, the number of new people getting a shot every day is slowly dwindling. Health officials say this is especially concerning since everyone 16 and older can receive a vaccine. Our daily record for shots given in one day was on March 26th. That's when we saw 9,300 people receive a vaccine on that day. Daily doses have decreased since then, indicating a vast majority of people in Kern are not ready to get the shot. Coming up tomorrow morning on 17 News at Sunrise, we're going to talk to Dr. Glenn Goldis about this. He's the Chief Medical Officer for Kern Medical, and we'll discuss this concerning trend and what this means for the future as more variants are spreading in our community.
Meantime, the U.S. set a new record over the weekend for getting COVID vaccine shots in arms, but more than 30 states are now seeing a rising number of cases with more contagious variants growing. As
health officials race to slow the spread, the Biden administration is calling for China to be transparent about the origins of the pandemic. Alice Barr has the latest.
Maddie and Alex, new variants paired with loosening restrictions and increased travel are sending hospitalizations up again, especially among young people. And one governor is sounding the alarm. The race between vaccines and virus variants taking on new urgency as COVID cases are on the rise, especially in the Midwest. At the epicenter in Michigan, the governor is asking for more vaccine doses.
What's happening in Michigan today could be what's happening in other states tomorrow, and so it's on all of us to recognize we can squash where we're seeing hot spots.
The Biden administration so far sticking to its plan of doling out vaccines based on population.
When you take it away from one state, you never know where you're going to have another surge.
The U.S. setting a new record, 4.6 million shots in arms on Saturday. More than 1 in 4 adults now fully vaccinated. But with the more contagious UK variant spreading, some hospitals are again stretched thin.
Now that we're seeing upticks after each holiday, it's taxing, it's exhausting.
The Biden administration is vowing to get to the bottom of exactly what happened in China at the start of the pandemic.
In order to have the best shot possible at preventing it from happening again.
The U.S. Secretary of State blaming China for not being transparent, allowing the virus to spread around the world. He's calling for greater international cooperation to head off any future threats.
The vaccine rollout could slow this week as overall supply is expected to drop because of production problems with millions of doses from Johnson & Johnson. In Washington, Alice Barr, 17 News.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.
And out of the latest numbers on COVID-19, as Kern County Public Health Department reported no new deaths yesterday, but an increase in infections. 169 new cases added to our total yesterday. Although that number is significantly higher than what we have seen over the past few weeks, state health officials say there were cases from prior months that were not previously reported. Our daily average is still at levels that we haven't been at since mid-May. State data shows there are 52 people in the hospital with coronavirus and 11 are being treated in intensive care. So far, we have lost 1,304 people to the virus here in Kern.
The MLK Community Initiative put together the first vaccination pop-up in Southeast Bakersfield yesterday. Organizers say they hope to motivate the underserved community and hold more pop-ups in the future. The organization partnered with Adventist, Dignity, and Kaiser Permanente to organize the clinic. They say they administered 1,000 doses of the one-dose Johnson & Johnson vaccine at People's Missionary Baptist Church in Southeast Bakersfield. Dr. V.K. Jones is a pastor at the church. He was the first to get the shot. Jones says he hopes more communities of color will get vaccinated when given the opportunity. Only about 16% of the black population in Kern County has received the vaccine. That's less than half of the vaccinated white population.
I think those numbers are going to improve because they're seeing people who look like them, who represent their community, who are saying to them, this is something we need to do for ourselves.
The MLK Community Initiative hopes to do more vaccine clinics in Southeast Bakersfield in the future. Bakersfield College and Centric Health are partnering with a local church to host a vaccine clinic tomorrow. The St. Peter Restoration Community Christian Ministries will host the clinic from 4 to 6 p.m., giving out the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The church is located at 510 East Brundage Lane in Bakersfield. You can sign up using the link that you see on your screen.
5:07 is your time now. The mass vaccination site at Cal State Bakersfield is now offering the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. The site started administering the J&J vaccine this weekend. It's a one-dose shot for anyone 18 and older. The site will not be able to vaccinate anyone younger than 18. Appointments are preferred, but walk-ins are also accepted. The site's open 7 days a week, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. One of the easiest ways to sign up to get your shot is to go to the state's website, myturn.ca.gov, or you can call the number on your screen. That's 833-422-4255. A local group rallied to support street vendors yesterday afternoon in West Bakersfield after a homeless man attacked a local flower vendor in central Bakersfield 2 weeks ago. A local group called 661 Voices Heard organized a pop-up vendor expo, calling it Unity in the Community. The organizers hope the event will help local vendors feel safer running their businesses. Recently, the group raised $9,000 to help the victim of that flower vendor attack.
I just looked at it like if it was my family, and somebody didn't stop or, do what the people that went out there did to do, I would have been upset. How you just gonna let somebody get assaulted, person of color or not? How you just gonna let somebody get assaulted?
The group plans to hold another expo on May 23rd.
Alton Community Blood Bank says blood supply is critically low right now and they need your help. Ironically, the blood bank says as the community begins to open up and COVID restrictions are relaxed, the demand for blood is increasing, but the amount of donors is actually decreasing. They're asking you to donate this week to help them replenish supplies. You can donate whole blood, platelets, plasma, and COVID-19 convalescent plasma if you have recovered from the virus. You can go to hcbb.com to schedule an appointment. Welcome back. 5:12 now, and severe storms this weekend led to a roof collapse at a home in Jackson, Mississippi. Surveillance video inside the house capturing the entire incident. Connor McMullen says he was with his family and friends when they began to feel the house shake during the storm, and then moments later, the roof came crashing down. Fortunately, everyone was able to rush to safety. McMullen says a large tree toppled over onto the chimney, leading to the collapse. And as you just saw, the living room was littered with debris, and there is a gaping hole in the roof. McMullen says he's just glad no one was hurt.
It's crazy how my life could have easily changed had I not gotten up and ran away, because my roof could have fallen right on top of me.
And we're back here at 5:19. One person's dead after police shot a driver during a traffic stop in Minnesota yesterday. A mother's identified her son as the man killed and is speaking out about the incident. Charmaine Nero reports from Brooklyn Center.
As crowds gathered at the intersection of 63rd and Lee in Brooklyn Center, the mother of 20-year-old Dante Wright identified her son as the man killed by police earlier today.
He said they pulled him over because he had air fresheners hanging from him in there. They wanted to know about insurance. I will, when the police officer comes back to the window, put him on the phone, and I will give him the insurance.
Brooklyn Center Police released an update saying officers pulled over a driver for a traffic violation on Orchard Avenue shortly before 2 p.m. Sunday. It's unclear why officers pulled over the driver, but officers say the driver identified by his mother as Wright had an outstanding warrant.
Then I heard the police officer come to the window and say, put the phone down and get out of the car. And Dante said, why? And he said, we'll explain to you when you get out of the car.
Brooklyn Center Police say as officers attempted to take the driver into custody, he got back into his car.
I heard the police officer say, Dante, don't run.
That's when police say an officer then discharged his weapon, striking the driver.
Like a minute later, I called and his girlfriend answered, which was the passenger in the car, and said that he'd been shot.
Meantime, week 3 of the Derek Chauvin trial begins today. 35 witnesses have been called to testify for the prosecution so far, including Minneapolis police officers. On Friday, County Medical Examiner Dr. Andrew Baker joined the experts in their conclusion that George Floyd died because of the actions of Derek Chauvin, saying that fentanyl and heart disease did not directly cause Floyd's death. The trial is scheduled to resume later this morning, and the defense is expected to begin their case this week.
EET Business Watch is brought to you by Grapevine MSP Technology Services, the Valley's leading IT service provider.
Welcome back in your 17 Business Watch, and teen spending is slowly ticking up from record lows. According to Piper Sandler's biannual Taking Stock with Teens report, brands like Crocs and Nike are popular with Gen Z. When it comes to food, Chipotle is also a favorite. The survey also showed that Gen Z is turning to online brands like Shein and Princess Polly, along with thrift marketplaces like Poshmark and Depop. And this just in, skinny jeans are out. That's according to the CEO of Levi Strauss, who says that wide leg jeans are in vogue. Chip Bergh also said the fashion world could be in the early stages of a new denim cycle. The last one, led by Skinny Denim, lasted about 10 years. Bergh added that he doesn't think skinny jeans are ever going to go completely away, but that the company is clearly seeing a very strong demand for those looser fit jeans.
5:25 now. It's something many of us can relate to during the pandemic. Weight gain. For so many Americans, it's easy to put on, but so difficult to take it off. And now a New York doctor is trying to bring obesity treatment to the masses. NBC's Chris Pallone has the story.
The COVID-19 pandemic has ushered in a new era of health care at home. Now, a New York City obesity expert, Dr. Alexandra Soa, is hoping to capitalize on this trend.
Weight loss is not as simple as willpower.
Dr. Soa says recent research shows weight and metabolism are a lot more complicated than originally thought.
And a lot of doctors just don't know anything about it. So they'll just tell you, to lose weight, you need to eat less, exercise more.
SOA has now created a weight biology kit, which allows patients to get 8 metabolic tests without leaving home.
We are testing for insulin and glucose, which is blood sugar.
She's looking for indicators of something called insulin resistance.
It is an undiagnosed epidemic in our country.
I was pushing like 300 plus pounds.
Danny Holding Mabley runs a popular YouTube channel called Fat Loss and Family. He's lost 150 pounds and has kept more than half of it off for about 5 years. He's partnering with Dr. Soa on a series of sponsored videos which will document his experience with the So Well test kit and whether it reveals clues about what makes.
Working in the spirit of the Golden Empire, this is 17 News at Sunrise.
Clinica Sierra Vista is now offering rapid COVID-19 testing and COVID-19 vaccinations. Call 833-278-4584 to make your appointment. But don't delay. Clinica Sierra Vista, putting patients first.